Good morning, everyone. How we doing out there in Final Cut TV land? We haven't even started yet. We already got 4 thumbs up. The last episode we had 51 total thumbs up, which is fantastic. Now I was planning on. Well, let's get this first comment from our friend Nobody from Lincoln, Nebraska. So I was planning on streaming to Instagram vertically because the beta of Ecamm Live lets you send one of 2 layouts. You can send this layout like to YouTube and to Facebook, and you can do a vertical layout to Instagram. I was going to try it this morning, but there's a little bit of, since it's a beta, there's been a little bit of crashing and stuff, so I didn't want to take a chance. But coming soon, we'll be going to Instagram as well as Facebook and X, and we'll be sending a vertical stream to Instagram. Ecamm Live is phenomenal. Let me tell you, those twins up there, they're up on the East Coast in my neck of the woods, but up, I think Rhode Island or New Hampshire or somewhere up there. So soon we'll be going to 4 platforms live. I want them to just work on this beta, make it a little more stable before I want to risk a live stream. But it looks very cool. You send out 2 different aspect ratios. You frame them up. You frame each one up independent. So I have the 16 by 9 horizontal, and I got the 9 by 16 verticals next to each other, and I frame each one of them up, and then I choose each destination, whether they get the vertical or whether they get the horizontal or whether they get both. They can get both if I want them to get both. So forthcoming. We might do 5. I might do Twitch TV as well. I have an account over there. Does anybody that's on Twitch TV, is that vertical video or is that horizontal video? I can't remember. But at some point we might do 5, be streaming to live to 5 platforms. That'd be very cool. So something interesting happened this week. Apple apparently gave announcements. They gave invitations to some influencers. Okay, Twitch is typically horizontal. Okay, so the vertical doesn't make any difference. There's our friend Gabe. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Gabe. How you doing? So here's what's going on with a couple of things. Let me go over this. Listen, people say, oh, Apple never tells us anything. Well, this is another instance where they did tell us something. They pre-announced a major version of Final Cut Pro coming out on January the 28th. Probably. I'll tell you why I say probably in a minute. Let me see how close I can get this microphone. Oh, I can get it pretty close. There we go. So this is another instance when they pre-announced an update to Final Cut Pro. They've done it multiple times. Other times, they don't tell us anything at all. We just get it when we get it. So let me see. I want to talk about that. So here's the deal. There's not going to be an announcement for the Creative Summit until after the Final Cut Pro 12 is released. Final Cut Studio, Final Cut Pro 12, whichever way you want to take it. There'll be no announcement about the summit, I'm sure, because they got to get through this first, right? This whole launching a major edition of Final Cut, Logic Pro. They updated compressor from 5 to 6. Motion from 5 to 6, compressor, and all of the keynote pages, numbers with premium templates. I read something this week, and they were talking about Apple created Creator Studio, and they were talking about the only premium templates they were talking about were for Keynote and Pages. They weren't talking about premium templates for Final Cut Pro. And I said, I wonder, is that what it is? The premium templates are just for Keynote and Pages? No idea, but we'll find out. We'll find out, but I presume there's going to be premium templates for Final Cut as well. Maybe for Motion. I mean, who the heck knows? We'll have to see how that goes. Our friend Daniel, hello from Canada. Very cold. It's very cold here today. Oh, we're gonna get plastered. Right now, it's 11 degrees Fahrenheit. At 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 degrees. That's not the wind chill. That's the temperature, the outside temperature. I've already been outside this morning. I've got a jumpsuit, insulated jumpsuit, because we're supposed to get 12 to 16 inches of snow starting at midnight tonight, all through tomorrow, Sunday, and into Monday morning. So that's a lot of snow for us. That's the biggest snow in 10 years. We haven't had a big snow like this in 10 years. Back in the, let me see, when was it? In the fall, I said to myself, Self, you better get a new snowblower. That's what I said. I said, I got a feeling you're going to be in for a lot of snow this winter. My old snowblower was a Craftsman, and it's been great for 10 or 15 years, but I needed a new one because I was concerned that it would give up the ghost. So. Keyframing, will they fix it? Well, they've already pre-announced what the features are. There's 3 features. Search, transcriptions, visual search, and there's one other feature. Gabe will probably know what the 3rd feature is. Major features. Keyframing, auto delete, silence, auto ducking, etc. Once again, they've already pre-announced what the main features are. What if there's any smaller features we don't know? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I don't know if there'll be new features apart from the ones already announced, but I doubt improved keyframing is included, unfortunately. Not for this update, but boy, we sure need that, don't we? We sure need that. There it is, beat detection. So visual search, transcript search, beat detection. Now, beat detection has been in Logic Pro for years. What about correct time code? Where are you having problem? Well, you can adjust your time code inside of Final Cut. You can change it to anything you want. I'm not sure what you're talking about specifically. Now, different codecs can create different problems. How did you bring the comment on screen? Which software do you use? Ecamm Live. Ecamm Live, I've been a big user of Ecamm Live for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Long time. And it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Right now, we're not only can I bring comments on screen, but we're streaming to YouTube, we're streaming to Facebook Live, and we're streaming to X, which is still, when I go into the X, the studio, they still list it as Periscope, which I started on. Final Cut Pro is $2 per month in India. You mean if you're a student or a teacher, right? Because if you go yearly, it's $10.75 in the U.S. $12.99 per month, but if you go by the year, it's $10.75. $3 is if you're a student or a teacher. Hello from Cambodia. Southern Cambodia, instead of the Gulf of Thailand, now 30 degrees centigrade. That's warm, right? 30 degrees centigrade. You're more degrees centigrade than I am in Fahrenheit. I'm 8 degrees Fahrenheit. which is below freezing. No for normal people, $2 per month? Really? That's a bargain. You mean the Creator Studio, Apple Creator Studio is $2 per month? That is a bargain if it's for normal people. That's what it is here for students. Students and college students and college teachers. Now, I'm a college teacher. I'll have to see if they accept that. I haven't taught this fall, but I might be teaching in the spring. A local community college up the road. We'll have to see what the details are. Here's the thing. Apple sent out an invitation to influencers, which they do on a semi-regular basis, right? Let me pull that up here. They sent out an invitation, and I'm curious about this. Let's pull it up here. Okay, let's pull it up here. MacBook, here we go. So they sent out this invitation, right? 3-day Creator Studio event. Now, what I'm curious about is this. Why is that doing that to me? What I'm curious about is this starts on January the 27th. So if they're having a 3-day event on January the 27th, what is happening on the 28th? Are they going to January the 27th to the 29th in Los Angeles? Well, for one thing, it's not at the Cupertino, which is, well, I guess, it's not at like the Steve Jobs Theater. What does Apple have in LA? The whole Creator Studio is $2 per month and $43 yearly. Are you sure? Because that's what it is in the United States for students and teachers, not for regular people. Regular people, it's $12.99. In Canada, Creator Studio subscription would be $179 plus taxes yearly. Absolutely. Really? $179? What is it monthly, Daniel? Because it's $12.99 a month here. Yearly, it's $129, which comes out to $10.75 a month, which is 33 cents a day. So when you look at it for 33 cents a day, I said, do I use Final Cut Pro enough each day to 33 cents? Come on, that's a cup of coffee is $4 to $5. So anyway, when you break it down like that, now here's the thing. If they keep it at that price for the next couple of years, at least, don't be starting to get that subscription price creep. And like you do with Apple TV, started out at $6.99 or something. Now it's up to $12.99. As long as you don't creep the subscription price, I'm semi okay with it. I'm still on the side of having a standalone app, but I'm at that price point, I'm okay. Good morning from frigid Montreal, where it's minus 11 Fahrenheit, feeling like minus 34. There you go. Listen, for the East Coast, 8 degrees, not even wind chill right now. It's going on almost close to noon, and it's 8 degrees Fahrenheit. Not even wind chill. That's cold for us. Local currency or USD? That's a good point. Is it USD? I think 999. They have to update the softwares constantly, though. Why do they have to do that? Our friend Gabe said, for the cost of an annual Adobe subscription, one could get Creator Studio and a Mac Mini. Look, generally speaking, I am against subscriptions for the most part. Adobe subscription, forget it. They are the worst. They are the worst of the worst. Not only are they expensive, but when you try to cancel, they get your clause in, and you agreed to some of their terms of service, which said, if you cancel a day early, we're going to charge you a cancellation fee of $79 or whatever. And if you try to do it a day late, they go, no, it's too late. You have to go on for another year. They're the worst. Okay, Adobe is absolutely, unequivocally the worst. Apple, for their Final Cut for iPad, Final Cut Junior on the iPad, you cancel it on your phone. You just go to your account and just say cancel. So it's same with this subscription. You could get it for a month or a year, and it's so simple to manage. That's one of the bonuses. Plus, $12.99. Now, here's the thing. If you only want Final Cut Pro, that's a lot. That's still a lot of money. But now you got Final Cut Pro on the Mac, Final Cut Pro on the iPad. You got Logic Pro on the Mac, Logic Pro on the iPad. You got Motion 6, which is not on the iPad, just on the Mac. And Compressor, which is, I think, just on the Mac. If you're using all those things, $12.99 is not too bad. I'm still on the side of standalone app. I'm not going to really change that. And we are getting, the people that get the standalone version are getting the exact same version of Final Cut Pro that is in the subscription version. Feature for feature, it's exactly the same. Okay. So if you make a comment about, you have to be, I don't want to post comments that if you're reverse engineering Final Cut Pro, I don't want to do that on the screen. I'm not saying, people do it, but I'm not going to post that on the screen because that's against the terms of service. The terms of service, if you use Final Cut, is you won't reverse engineer it. So just be aware of that, making that public comment. You're not supposed to be reverse engineering Final Cut. Do people do it? Yes. It's all kinds of things. So we already got 9 thumbs up, which is fantastic for just starting. Let's go see what those cats are doing. There they are. There they are, sleeping in their bed. Let me just pull this up real quick. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to, let's zoom in a little bit. Those are the 2 girls. And we're going to do this, just that little bit, temperature, gamma. There they are. They are on their futon. They have their own futon and their own pillows, and they do sleep a lot. They do sleep a lot during the day. They absolutely do sleep a lot during the day. The one that's got her ears up, she's looking out the window. And what they see out the window, we have a couple of community cats that are outside, and they will go around the house in front of that window sometimes. Squirrels will run through the bushes. Not so much in the wintertime, but in the spring and the summer and the fall, there's birds out there. So it's birds out there. So speaking of reverse engineering, so a couple times ago, I talked about the custom window layouts that somebody has. And I did a live broadcast about it. We talked about it. here's, as I suspected, since it's a hack, I don't know what changes, but some of the layouts, when I use them, 3 things happen. The audio meters don't respond. They stop responding to scrubbing, to live scrubbing. There's nothing, they're blank. You can't live scrub in the browser. If you take a clip in the browser and start live scrubbing, nothing happens in the viewer. It's frozen or it has to catch up. And the third thing is, when you select an edit point between 2 clips, and suppose you shorten one side, well, you get a 2-up in the viewer, and the side that you're shortening is live. But it's not with this when you hack your window layouts. Doesn't change. So those are 3 major things that these custom window hacks are causing problems in Final Cut Pro. So I stopped using them because I'm like, what don't I do this? And this normally happens. And I'm thinking, well, that's weird. And of course, it's the window layouts. Happy good minus 25 degrees. Holy guacamole, minus 25.6. That's without the without the wind chill. Could it be that Apple's main goal is to get Windows and Android users to switch to a Mac, according to the motto, the full program? Yes, but only on a Mac. Well, could be. But I don't think they're that concerned about Windows anymore like they used to be. I don't know. They're up. They want to generate an ongoing revenue stream. So Final Cut Pro, we paid $299 in 2011. $299 in 2011. 15 years of free updates. All the people that bought Final Cut Pro are not directly generating new revenue with Final Cut Pro app. They are when they buy new hardware, of course, which we all pretty much all do. But Final Cut Pro app is not generating new, money for them. So this is the way they've done this is pretty ingenious because it's really hard to not justify getting those 4 apps and the other whatever. We got to see what the premium content is. Okay. I'll probably go ahead and download the trial on when it first comes out because I want to be on top of what's going on there. And I'll update my current version of Final Cut Pro to 12. I have 30 days that I can cancel the subscription. You get a trial for 30 days, then it'll charge you. Now I got to see if they'll accept my teaching certificate. I teach at a community college part-time. I got to see if they accept that. We'll have to see. One workflow I adopted is to first take my video to DaVinci Resolve, then auto-delete silences. Yes. And then use AI audio assistant. Yes. That makes sense. I use DaVinci Resolve Studio all the time. I do it for text-based editing. That's one of the main things. I text-based edit in DaVinci Resolve. It's so easy to do. You just transcribe the clip and then you just text-based edit, and it's great. You can cut down a hour and a half video a lot faster by looking at the paragraphs and selecting things and dropping them into a timeline as you go, rather than playing it in real time, which you normally have to do. Rather than playing it in an hour and a half, I can cut it down in 20 or 30 minutes just by reading the text. Yes. The custom layouts are super useful, albeit a bit buggy. They're a bit buggy. They're very buggy for me. Full height browser and true vertical video would be excellent native option, not to mention more control over the placement of scopes. Absolutely, but we've been wanting that for years. I mean, I understand, but the bugginess, the audio meters stopped working. All the bugginess seems to have to do with live scrubbing. And I don't understand why by switching the windows around, the live scrubbing stops working. So the audio meters, once again, will stop working when you're live scrubbing. They just don't work. You can't live scrub on browser clips. It seems to work in the timeline, but you can't live scrub in browser clips. And then when you click on an edit point and you like shorten or lengthen an edit point, you get a 2-up, and the side you're shortening or lengthening doesn't update in the viewer. The two come up, the left and right come up, but the one you're adjusting doesn't live update. I can't deal with that. I don't care about the window layout. I can't deal with that. I use that feature all the time. So no, it's buggy. And from what I understand, that's why Chris Hawking, he looked at this years ago and it was too buggy, so he didn't bother developing it further. So that's one of the things to be aware of. And maybe, I don't know how about the stability. 100%. The workspace workaround is not for me. It breaks the audio meter, and Control D does not work. There you go. Are you able to see chats from all platforms at one place? Yes. Normally, yes. Normally, Facebook, X, and YouTube. YouTube has the most chats by far. Well, this is interesting. So $2 in India is considered to be medium level pricing. Here, Adobe is priced at $15 per month. So that's what it is. It's the currency. Is Final Cut Pro 12? No, it's out this coming Wednesday. It's out this coming Wednesday in the U.S. Tuesday. You're saying Tuesday. I thought it was Wednesday. See, this is the problem. They said the 27th to the 29th. No, the 28th is Wednesday. So this is what I'm saying. Because of this invitation, the invitation says the 27th to the 29th. Apple said it's coming out on the 28th. And I suspect it's coming out on the 27th, at least for the influencers that are going to be in LA. When I first bought my Mac for college, I started using Final Cut Pro, and now I'm spoiled. I'm so used to the way it works, I simply can't use anything else, which happens to a lot of us. I go to Final Cut Pro first, and then DaVinci Resolve, and then DaVinci Resolve second. Have you seen Raphael Ludwig's latest video on YouTube about his 12-month countdown to see if Apple delivers what pros have asked for years? If not, Final Cut Pro may be abandoned by a few users. First off, there is absolutely no evidence that this subscription is going to mean they are accelerating their development of Final Cut Pro. Nowhere is there evidence of that. In order for that to be accepted as real, you would have to say, well, they've slowed down the development prior to 12. No, they haven't slowed it down. They're just operating the most efficient way that they can and the speed that they can with the amount of people that they have. They're not intentionally holding back the reins on Final Cut Pro till they got a subscription. That doesn't make sense. There's no evidence that there's going to be more features, that it's going to happen faster, or anything else just because it's going to subscription. Now, I'm not saying that it won't. It could. I'm saying there's no evidence that it absolutely will. People are saying that, well, it'll be more features, more evidence, faster development. No, there's no evidence of that anywhere. Right, Wednesday, not Tuesday. So Apple's Creator Studio software runner launches January 28th, but the creators are there on the 27th. So they're not going to talk. They're going to not talk about the Apple Creator Studio on the 27th with those people. I find that strange. I'm suspicious that the 27th, maybe they'll just get them used to, acclimated. Maybe they're going to introduce a new M5 MacBook Pro, and they'll be busy with that for the first day. And maybe there's a special event on the 28th. But my question is this. Why isn't that event in Cupertino? At the Steve Jobs Theater, at Apple Campus? Why is it in L.A.? That's curious to me. What to see. India has the cheapest internet, too. For $2 per month, we get 3 terabyte 5G data speeds. Like, wow, that's really cheap. Have you ever visited India or plan to? No, I have not. I'd love to go to India. And India looks like a really, really cool place. That's one of the places I like to go. Australia and India. Now, I've been to Europe many times. I've been to Paris. I've been to London 5 or 6 times over the years. But I'm not planning on going over there right now. But India would look like a very, very cool place. So, and then Australia is another one that I like to go to. But I don't know how far India is plane-wise, but Australia is like a 16, 17-hour multiple plane ride. So I make coffee, and I grind my beans before I brew, so it's like the freshest it can be. Now, I got a new grinder. It's really, really cool. I really like it. I got it yesterday. Listen, we're getting a humongous winter storm here, starting tonight at midnight, all the way through Sunday night into Monday morning. So we're going to get snow for over 24 hours. And for us, we've had a couple of 2 or 3 inch snows here on the East Coast, but this is going to be a foot or more. That's a lot of snow. Now, like I said, I have a brand new snowblower, powerful. So I'm okay, but it's still work. It's still work, even though it's a snowblower. I have a lot of driveway. I have one driveway between 3 different houses. My house, neighbor's house, and the house lives back the lane. So I like to keep that open for everybody. My driveway itself is only a few hours of work, but keeping that main lane open, and I usually do, if it's going to be a lot, I'll keep my neighbors across the driveway open. It's not that much more, but it's a lot. It's still work, and you're out there in the cold. So the good thing is I can stop, come inside, and warm up by the fireplace, and I can then go back at it again. And I do have electric gloves, heated gloves this time, and I got these little packets that are heated that I can put in my pockets and stuff. So I visited the USA and loved it. What do you like and dislike about the USA? I like the USA a lot. I like it a lot. It seems to be, a great country. I like it. Why people hate Premiere so much? Because of Adobe. It's not Premiere per se, although, listen, you get the NLE wars. Oh, I got to edit on Avid. Oh, I got to edit on Final Cut. I got to edit on Premiere. I got to edit on DaVinci Resolve. That's never going to be resolved. Everybody has their favorite. Everybody has their favorite NLE. My favorite Mac NLEs, by far, Final Cut Pro and DaVinci Resolve. I'm not interested in Premiere because of the Adobe ransom model that they have. And I don't edit on Avid. I did at one point for a short while, but I don't anymore. Well, we're getting a lot of thumbs up again. Fantastic. In my side, I will wait for a few months to analyze the situation, having all standalone Apple Pro apps plus many plugins for Final Cut Pro Resolve with my Plan B and LumaFusion for mobile. Same with me, exactly the same with me. Adobe and Apple seem to approach their software in diametrically opposed ways. Adobe tends to focus on quantity of features, while Apple focuses quality of implementation. And the other thing that Adobe, the main thing is not Premiere. I've heard horror stories about people trying to cancel their subscriptions. And either it's difficult to get through, or if you're a day early, they want to charge you $79 for a early cancellation fee. All this nonsense where they grip you and they just mess with you financially. That's what I really, really dislike about the Adobe subscription ransom model. No promise of faster updates, but it feels like a heartfelt commitment to the Final Cut Pro community. So one thing we're not going to discuss on this live stream or any of my Facebook groups is anything political. So don't start political stuff. If you do that, you'll have to go somewhere else. We don't do that here. We talk about Final Cut Pro. Final Cut Pro is my favorite as well, but working with Premiere at the moment because I needed After Effects for a project, and I have to say the current version is stable and fast. I really like it. The current version of Premiere you're talking about? Right. So it's not the Premiere itself. I started on Premiere. I did Premiere before I did Premiere before I did Final Cut, because Final Cut wasn't out when I first started with Premiere for the Mac. So I'm feeling bad with Premiere cutting with Final Cut Pro. It has fair spatial likeness and facilitates intuitive working. So yeah, people say that all the time, and I agree. Final Cut is really a lot of fun to edit with. It's more fluid for the most part, and it's fast, it's intuitive. It's lacking a lot of standard NLE features, though. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Can you work around them? Yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. I'm kind of used to it. Hello, everybody. Hello, Milcore Pictures. Yes, current version of Premiere, they must have improved stability and speed a lot. Okay, that's cool. Is 11.12 the most stable Final Cut Pro version? It's stable for me, but here's the thing. Don't update until you make a backup copy of Final Cut Pro. I make a backup copy of Final Cut Pro. I make another copy on a different hard drive. I back up my Mac OS that works with it. I back up that Time Machine, or just make a new volume or whatever. I back up. So this version that I have, I can always boot in. This version of the OS, this version of Final Cut Pro, and my libraries. I can always go back to this version and have it work the way I did. 11.2 seems to be pretty stable. Apple and Blackmagic design our hardware first, and software as promoting their hardware. Blackmagic Pro production oriented, Apple more creators oriented. But Blackmagic is all video. Their whole company is video. Cameras, switchers, this hardware, that hardware, DaVinci Resolve. Their whole company is about video and video production. Apple video production is this big, maybe this big with the iPhone. So there's two different companies there. Blackmagic Design is all about video production, the entire company. Apple is about video production, it's about this much for them. And with their iPhones, that, when I buy an iPhone, it's because of improved video and the way it records and stuff. So my Final Cut Pro used to work really smooth, and something has happened. It now lags a lot in a similar kind of workflow. Note I have lots of plugins. Can that make a significant difference? Absolutely. Plugins can bog Final Cut Pro down, especially if they're not coded efficiently. And if you use a lot of plugins on your timeline, it can definitely slow Final Cut Pro down. I think any NLE uses a lot of plugins. They're slower than if they don't have them. And the other thing is make sure that whoever has developed the plugins has been updated. I don't know why I'm addicted to Final Cut Pro. Maybe we should start a Final Cut Pro addiction group to all of us. No, we're all pretty much addicted to Final Cut at some level. At some level. I'm not saying because we use it first. I mean, there's a couple of things. The live skimmer is phenomenal. The magnetic timeline is really good too. It's very fluid and it works really well when it works okay. So I'm not having any problem with 11.2. They're unpredictable. Their updates to Final Cut Pro, they're unpredictable these days, which is probably the way they like it. They probably say, we don't want you to be predicting what's going to happen. So don't forget, in addition to backup, put those Apple Auto updates off except security patches. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, all that stuff. So I will make a backup copy of my entire operating system, make a backup copy of the Final Cut Pro apps, and make a backup copy of any important project library that I have before I update to Final Cut Pro 12. It's supposed to come out on Wednesday, the 28th. I would not be surprised if we start seeing tutorials on the 27th. I won't be surprised. I mean, listen, there's 3 or 4 major features, three major features. Maybe there's some smaller features. You'll have 10 different people going over the same details, the same 3 features. So I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying that there's not a whole lot that they can spread out. And this person take this section, this person take that. There's only 3 major features, so people will be doing that. I mean, beat detection I've had in Logic for years. And in Final Cut Pro, you cannot adjust. Once it does the beat detection, you can't adjust before or after the beat. It's locked on the beat, and that's all you get. Logic Pro, you can adjust any way you want. I'm not using a lot of plugins on the timeline. The thing is, I have them in the software. All the plugins are for Motion VFX and FX Factor. They should be fine. They should be fine. If you don't load them onto the timeline, they really shouldn't affect anything. But sometimes one plugin can make your timeline come to a crawl, go to a crawl. What are the specs of your Mac? I'm using a Mac Mini Pro. Top everything, top CPU, top GPU, 48 or 96 gigabytes of memory. I didn't get the 4 or 8 terabyte drive. I got a 2 terabyte drive. That's what I'm using on. But I also have a 2021 MacBook Pro Max that I use as well. Will 12 require Tahoe? Let me just check on something for you. I get these names mixed up. No, I'm on Sequoia. No. Sequoia 15 point, let me see. Sequoia 15.5 or later, I believe, for Final Cut Pro 12. Because I don't use Tahoe at all. I've got it loaded. I got a volume, it's Tahoe volume, but I haven't used it. There's no reason for me to use it. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. When did I start using Final Cut Pro? When the original Final Cut Pro came out. 1999 or 2000. I've been using it ever since then. Started using Final Cut Pro Classic, I think. The same with me. I started on Premiere Pro for the Mac, and then they dropped support. Then Adobe dropped support for the Macintosh. And that's when Steve Jobs got Final Cut Pro. They said, oh, you're going to drop support for the Mac? Have this. Have a taste of this. Here's Final Cut Pro. That's what I love about Final Cut Pro. It's smooth, of course, made by Apple, and the system in Apple. Magnetic Timeline, what a brilliant idea. I have to agree. It's a great NLE. It's certainly one of the Adobe's fine. I mean, Premiere's fine. Adobe's not fine, but Premiere's fine. DaVinci Resolve is fantastic. I've talked to Grant Petty. I've interviewed him before. Fantastic guy. He's just fantastic. So DaVinci Resolve was good. Avid's good. Have you used power bins in DaVinci? I really loved it. How about, can I replicate in Final Cut Pro? What about smart collections in Final Cut? Isn't that kind of the same thing? Every NLE does some things the same, and some things they do differently. Sometimes they're unique. So, sometimes they are unique. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this Wednesday. I'll probably just go ahead and get the trial and then see if I can get the teacher discount. Final Cut Pro have survived and got traction because it is very good. What was sad is Apple is not helping us by being so secret about, and Pro hate that. Power bins in DaVinci allow sharing assets between projects. That's very cool. There are the girls. They're both awake. They're both awake. Neither one are sleeping. This is the front picture window in front of our house. We got the blackout curtain so it keeps it dark at night. So power bins in DaVinci allow sharing assets between projects. Somebody that knows DaVinci really well and Final Cut really well, you can share assets between projects in Final Cut Pro as well. It depends on what assets you're talking about. Why do you love the magnetic timeline? I don't know if I love it. I've gotten used to it, and sometimes I disable it. I have a video on my YouTube channel you can see. It's not technically disabling it, but I like it, but I use Logic as well, and it doesn't have magnet. Well, it does. Logic does in a different, they call it something different. There's an update to Sequoia I haven't installed yet, getting a persistent failure to personalize the update. So I'm on, let me see, I'm on Sequoia 15.7, and I haven't updated for a long time. So that's above the spec, 15.5 or later for Final Cut Pro 12. Power bins is different. So suppose you make a specific graphic using any plugin customized and you can just save it as a preset. You can do that in Final Cut Pro as well. Save effect preset, and you can save all your settings, and that stays with the Final Cut Pro app. That stays with the Final Cut Pro app. So there must be something different about it that I don't understand. I tried Final Cut Pro Workspace. It's great to have the inspector in the middle. I did the same thing, and I ran into problems. Like I told you, the live scrubbing stops working in a lot of places, including the audio meters. So I stopped using it. I can't do that. Is YouTube your main job? No, I was the post supervisor at the National Archives in Washington, D.C. So no, it's not my main job. Before that, I did a lot of things in D.C. What's the difference between power bins and events? I use assets from any bin in any project in Final Cut Pro. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't understand the difference. I use assets across projects, across libraries. You can save effects presets, which save all your settings. It saves the plugin and everything else. I also, at one point, I used to teach. I'm an Apple certified Final Cut Pro trainer, and I used to teach Final Cut Pro certified classes. Now, things have changed since then, and when I do a class, I'm really dedicated to the class, and I do a lot of prep work. It takes a lot of time, so I don't do it much anymore. Now I do video editing on things that I like. Music videos, short documentaries. I work with animal rescues. I do a lot of work with animal rescues. So we'll see. And I do these live streams every Saturday, and everybody shows up here. Thank you for showing up. Let's say you use a green screen template. You can save that in DaVinci and exact scaling, etc. I don't know, but you can save things in Final Cut. I don't know with the green screen template. You can save, they call it a save effects preset. You can click on anything you have, and you can save effects, all these effects and all their settings and stuff. I don't know about the green screen specifically. But anyway, it's probably a little different, but I don't know the difference. So I'm looking, who's else is looking forward to Wednesday when Final Cut Pro 12? If you have the standalone version of Final Cut Pro 12, if you have the standalone version of Logic, if you have the standalone version of Motion, you get the updates once again for free. We've been getting updates for Final Cut Pro for 15 years. 15 years. So if you're only doing Final Cut Pro, if that's all you're doing, you can just stay with the standalone version. But I might try this subscription. I'll have the standalone version as well, and I might try this subscription to see. Well, I'm going to try it for 30 days. You get to try it. So I'll probably try it out. And I'll watch, all the tutorial videos. I mean, Ripple Training will have them out. That's usually who I go to first, Ripple Training. And see what's up with the major features. Those are nice features. I'm not sure searching the transcript, is that going to be like text-based editing? I don't know. I have to coordinate my updates to Final Cut Pro with my client who I'm training in Final Cut Pro. Absolutely. You absolutely should be doing that. So if you're used to my channel over here, this is my channel. Where is it? Right here. And on Facebook, it's the same thing, Richard Taylor TV, Facebook.com, Richard Taylor TV. I'm going to be doing some live streaming tomorrow during this Snowmageddon that we're going to be getting. So just be aware of that. I wonder if Apple will offer a new bundle with Creator Studio and iCloud. I'd like to see them, well, first off, $12.99 for Creator Studio a month. If you're just using Final Cut Pro, it's a lot of money. Okay, especially if you're just using Final Cut Pro, stick with the standalone version. Let's see, they talk about premium content. The two versions of Final Cut Pro are going to be identical as far as features. Whatever the subscription gets, the standalone version gets as far as features. But they keep talking about premium content. So I'm not sure. We have to see what that is. That's going to be a big influence on whether or not I get a subscription for. I would just go for the year if I got it, and see if I, at that point, it depends on what the premium content is. If I don't think it's premium, if I think it's more the same kind of titles and stuff, then I'm not going to be overly thrilled about it, but we'll see. What will make Apple subscription impossible to resist? Yeah, exactly. Premium content. What is inside? We don't know yet. That's exactly correct. We don't know yet. Excited for it. I'll update my Mac Mini first and hold off on my main MacBook Pro. Smart, smart, smart. Very smart. A friend once put snow in his BBP profanity filter. Had notification when people posted Christmas songs lyrics in a specialized form. Oh, you know what? Let me. Here we go. Look what I have. This is what we're going to get tonight after midnight. They say it's going to snow up to. It's going to snow up to 1 to 2 inches per hour. We are going to get some good snow. So, I'll be outside starting. The problem is this. I'm not going to work on Monday. I don't have to. I work from the house. But my main driveway there's 2 other houses that use that main driveway. So I've kind of taken care of at least a large portion of that driveway. So I'll be out there at some point. And, yeah, Richmond is going to get ice. You're getting more ice than me. We're getting mostly snow. They're saying 12 to 16 inches where I live in Carroll County, which is northwest of Baltimore. We're going to get hit with this is a good snow. And like I said, I had a feeling earlier this year in the fall, this is going to be this is only the beginning, because usually we get the worst snows in February. This is the biggest snow we've had in this area for the last 10 years. Biggest one in 10 years. Final Cut Pro exports really fast. When I do short form stuff, I hit the export and go and pick my phone for airdropping. It for uploading and exporting is complete. Sorry, I'm not a native English speaker. No problem. That's not a problem. What surprised me, why not a version for iPhone to cut out Adobe? Yet. Not a version for iPhone yet. The fact that LumaFusion, which is my favorite NLE on the iPhone, we'll have to see if that remains my favorite. It will be. The LumaFusion is fantastic. I'm disappointed the new iPad feature won't be available on Mac. What new iPad feature is that? There's a couple of features that aren't available on the Mac. Yet. Yeah, yet. Doesn't mean there won't be a version on the iPhone at some point. It's just not yet. It's not there yet. I'm not saying there's going to be. I'm just saying it's not there yet. But here's a couple of good things about subscribing. I have not changed my mind. I still prefer the standalone version of Final Cut. That's the main app I use all the time. I use Logic Pro quite a bit as well. I hardly ever use Motion. I'm leaving that to you experts that do Motion. I'll pay you to do plugins for me or buy your plugins, whatever. So have you ever tried using CapCut on the PC? I don't use PCs. On the Mac, yes, I've used it a few times. They have a 47-page terms of service. You have to agree to 47 pages of their terms before you can use CapCut. I ain't going to do that. I ain't going to do that. So I don't need CapCut. I can do everything I want in Final Cut or DaVinci Resolve or LumaFusion. LumaFusion has a 2-page terms of service. CapCut has 47 pages in their terms of service to use CapCut. 47 pages. What the heck is in there? LumaFusion has 2 or 3 pages as a comparison. Now, I'm not going to agree to 47-page PDF. That's absolutely, unequivocally, complete BS. I won't do it. I don't need CapCut. If people talk about it and they want to do it, that's fine. Montage Maker, okay. If you subscribe, though, you'll have that availability on the iPad. So initially, when the iPad version of Final Cut Pro came out, I thought there was going to be feature parity between those two. But right off the bat, they started doing this, going in some different directions. That's a perfect example, Montage Maker, and the multicam studio thing that the iPad can do once again. So they started going in different directions. Now that you cannot get Final Cut iPad on the iPad standalone, you have to get the subscription. You have Final Cut on the Mac and Final Cut for iPad. I canceled my CapCut subscription in 1 month. I think it does some pretty cool things. I'm just not going to agree to their 47-page terms of service. I'm not going to do that. Absolutely. The devil is in the details with 47 pages. Be careful. Exactly. There's a lot of stuff in there that you didn't read any of it, probably. But you normally don't do. So here's a comment. Apple has 12 months from the 28th of January to prove this wasn't just a cash grab. People willing to subscribe want to see real improvements and not just extra content or whatever it means. I don't disagree with that, but there's no indication that that's going to happen. Nobody in Apple has said, oh, if you subscribe, we're going to do a lot more features and we're going to do it faster. That doesn't exist. There's no statement that says that. The subscription that you're talking about goes to 7 different apps, not just the Final Cut. It goes to Logic, it goes to Motion, it goes to Compressor, it goes to premium content in Pages, premium content in Keynote, premium content in Numbers. It doesn't just all go to Final Cut Pro. Okay? It's divided, I'm sure, amongst all the apps. Now, Final Cut Pro may get the lion's share of that, but or maybe 50%, whatever. But there's no... So all along, for the last 15 years, you think that money was the reason that Final Cut Pro is slower in development and lacking features? You think it's all money-based? I don't. I think there's different things going on. There are different dynamics. But nobody in Apple has said, oh, if you subscribe, we're going to be developing Final Cut Pro faster and add a lot more features faster. Nobody said that. That comes out of just people's imaginations. I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm just saying there's no guarantee. Nobody has said that anywhere in Apple. Could it happen? Sure. Will it happen? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. If I read you correctly, Richard, since we have standalone Pro apps, you will have to prefer to take the subscription as an option for content premium, but let the Pro apps as they are. If I do it, I might try it for a year. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm certainly going to try it for 30 days, for sure. And since I have the standalone versions, I don't need the apps. I have all those apps I would be doing it for any premium content. That's exactly correct. Because I have all those apps. I have Logic. I have Final Cut. I have Motion. I have Compressor. I do not have Main Stage. I don't have a need for that. I have Numbers. I have Pages. And I have Keynote. I have all those apps. So it depends. The only thing that would get me subscribed is premium content. And premium content in Final Cut Pro is what I'm mostly interested in. Premium titles, premium effects. They might have a third-party company doing their effects for them in this new one. We'll have to see. Yes, you're right. It would be premium content. That would be the only thing that would get me. Otherwise, I have everything at this point. I mean, things can change going forward. We'll have to see. But like I said, if you get it, even if you don't get it, if you're not a student or a teacher, if you're a student or a teacher, it's a no-brainer. It's $30 a year. Okay, if you're a college student or a college instructor, $30 a year. That's a no-brainer. I would get that whether I used it or not. So that's fantastic. But what do you think about these two apps, X to CC and Send to X? Is supposed to help send project to Premiere and you receive project from Premiere. Yeah, those are both really good apps by our friends Philip and Greg. They've worked with those for a while. One feature Resolve has over Final Cut Pro is batch syncing. Makes my editing experience so much easier. Giving up on that. That's the only feature. What about text-based editing? I use text-based editing in Resolve all the time. It works really, really well. It's easy to do. So that's just one thing. Microsoft Clip Champ. I have no idea what that is. Yeah, royalty-free music libraries, a Series Plus if included. I've heard somewhere in the discussion about this that there's going to be a premium content film library, clips where you can use clips, maybe a music library, sound effects library that's going to be only available if you have the subscription. You're absolutely correct. If that's included, people pay for that outside of Final Cut Pro. They subscribe to those video clip, picture libraries, music libraries outside of Final Cut, and I bet you they're paying at least as much as this subscription is. So Apple is smart keeping this at $12.99. Don't update this price. And next year it's $15.99, $16.99, $20.99, $30.99, $40.99. No, this price is a really good deal. So we'll have to see what the future holds for this. Oh, sorry. Michael, you have not mentioned Pixelmator Pro. I use Pixelmator Pro all the time. All my graphics for these live streams are Pixelmator Pro. Yes, Pixelmator Pro is also included. See if that has premium content. I don't know which of the apps are going to have premium content. They've just said the distinction between the apps are not features. You're going to have feature parity. Okay, Final Cut Pro 12 on this version, Final Cut Pro 12 on this version are going to have the same features, whatever they're updated. They keep talking about premium content is not going to be available unless you have the subscription. Man, if there's premium content in Pixelmator Pro, that's going to be great. I'm interested in premium content for Final Cut. Logic, I don't know what they would do besides a sound library. Motion, if there's premium content for Motion, we'll have to see how that works. Premium content for Keynote. Keynote is a very, very cool app. If you're using all these apps and you want the premium content, that $12.99, or it's only $10.75 a month if you go by the year, let's just say $10.75 a month. It's not a bad price. Not a bad price at all. The ability to batch sync natively would be huge. Sync and Link allows us to do this, but it's an extra cost and requires additional steps. That's absolutely. So that's a video editor by Microsoft, works on a web browser. I don't want a video editor on a web browser. I want a video editor right here on my Mac. Personally, that's one of the reasons that I stopped using, what was that one editor? I forget what it was. I stopped using it years ago. With this announcement, many YouTubers were scared, like Dylan Bates. I'm not scared. I mean, software doesn't scare me. And initially, when I first heard about it, I was like everybody else. Wait a minute. Are they going to update Final Cut Pro standalone? Yes. Same features in both versions. Whether that's the same 2 years from now, I'm not going to worry about that now. I'll worry about it 2 years from now. That's true. Pixelmator Pro is a fantastical ability to export directly to motion. Absolutely. I don't know Pixelmator Pro. Is it like Photoshop? It's more graphic. You can take photos in. Yes, you can adjust them, add layers. So, well, let me just pull this up. Here we go. Here. This is done in Pixelmator Pro. This graphic was done in Pixelmator Pro. I do all my graphics in Pixelmator Pro. It has some ability to adjust photographs as well, but I use it for graphics, to create graphics. It's really really good. I get poor results with Sync and Link. Well, you have to contact Philip and Greg, tell them what your problems are. I'm sure they're the best software developers. I mean, they're a small team, but they do great. Do you think subscription Final Cut Pro projects will open as a standalone app minus the premium content or not at all? Yes, they will. I've already got clarification of that. A library opened in a subscription and a library opened in standalone are completely exchangeable, like you said, minus the premium content. If you have just suppose we have a premium title in Final Cut Pro that you used in the subscription, it'll still be there in the standalone version of the library, but it'll just be a placeholder. It won't affect your edit. It's just a placeholder. They are completely exchangeable. Okay, so that's good. Apple have Photomator, but not talking about it in 3 photo apps. About it, Photos apps is one to get lost. Makes no sense. Apple Photos, Pixelmator Pro. Why keep Photomator? I don't know. I have no idea. I love a feature where Rec 709 is the final output of my grade instead of stacking things on top during the workflow. I have no comment on that. I'm not sure why that's not available. People mainly use it for captioning videos. Understood? Photomator has potential to be the new Aperture, but today it uses the bad subscription model. Bad. What are some of your favorite plugins for text? I have over 1,000 plugins. BreadFX has some great plugins for text. BRETFX, he has some really cool ones. Ripple Training has some. Mark Spencer has some. It's like Illustrator then, okay? That could be, but yeah, that could be. Absolutely. There are the kitty cats. One's sleeping, one's awake. They are a bit spoiled, but that's okay. We love our cats. We love all animals. Love our cats. So I'll be doing a live stream from my YouTube, Facebook page tomorrow about the snow. I'll be going out in the snow somewhat. I'll be taking mostly for where I live. I live in Maryland. It's mostly for the local Facebook groups, but it'll be videos of the snow and some of the, I'm going to be busy. I'm going to do some snow blowing tomorrow during the day. but the final won't be able to be done until Monday morning. But I'll do some of it. I'll do some live streaming. So if you're subscribed to my channels, if you subscribe to my channels, you'll be seeing some of the notices. Thousands of plugins? No, it doesn't lag. I don't use them all. They just stay in the motions folder. Now, wait a minute. Are you telling me you're just 13 years old? Are you serious? Are you really just 13 years old? Cats are waiting for the next week announcement from Apple. If you are just 13, congratulations for being so advanced on Final Cut and stuff. There's a lot of reasons that can lag. Plugins are one of them, but plugins loaded in your movies, motion templates folder shouldn't be doing any problem. It's when you load them onto clips or put them in the timeline. Pixelmator Pro can read PSD files, Photoshop document files. Oh, PSD. PDF, Photoshop document. I've been preparing for this snow for like over a week. I have a new generator that I got. It works fantastic. 50 amp generator that can power my whole house. It takes 3 different kind of fuels. It takes gas, of course. It takes propane, and it takes natural gas. I've just been using propane so far. I haven't put any gas in it yet. I got 3 tanks of propane if we lose power. It'll power the whole house, except I'll turn the hot water heater off because that takes a lot of amps. I turn that off, but everything else can run. It'll run the stove. It'll run the refrigerator. 50 amps is a lot. So I hook that up. If we lose power, ready to go. Brand new Champion. I got a brand new Aaron's snowblower, 28-inch, what they call SHO snowblower. It's super high output. It's really, really powerful and good. It'll throw snow 50 to 60 feet away, and it'll throw 72 tons per hour. 72 tons of snow per hour is what they claim. So I got both of those things covered, and I have a wood-burning stove that heats our entire upstairs. So I have heat if we lost power. I have a generator. I have wood for plenty of wood. I have wood for a year for the wood-burning stove if we lost power. And I have a powerful snowblower. I should be all set. Backup done here, and all auto update put to off, waiting for next week. Apps, good point. Pixelmator is Photoshop without all fancy and unnecessary AI features. There you go. I watched unboxing for your generator. Pretty cool. Thank you. I do a lot of. I have an acre and a half, and I have tractors, and I have log splitters, and I have generators, and I have now the snowblower. This will be the first real test of it, but I expect it's pretty cool. Like a lot of people that watch those unboxing videos and stuff. I've discovered Command Post. That's from our good friend Chris Hawking. He's going to be on one of these live streams in the coming weeks. Which lets you add features to Final Cut Pro? Yes, I am. I use the AI features in Photoshop. Can't switch to Pixelmator Pro without generative fill. Okay. I can't believe you're only 13. You're incredible. I just turned 13 this January. I learned Final video editing because I make YouTube videos. Very, very cool. Well, welcome. You're probably the youngest person to watch these. Fantastic. Hoping to get some editing done while we're snowed in, as long as I have power. Yeah. I've stocked up enough firewood. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 places to store firewood without me leaving the house. I have a sunroom, and I have 3 sliding glass doors on the sunroom. One of the sunroom sliding glass doors has a stack of firewood covered up with a tarp, protected from the rain and the snow, that I can just stay in the sunroom, open up the door, and pull firewood from it. And I can probably get 3 days worth of wood burning out of that one stack, probably 3 days. I have another vertical stack of firewood in the sunroom that's in a separate rack. I can get 1 day and a half or 2 days out of that stack. And then I have a stack where the wood burning stove is, and another stack inside this foyer area that's probably close to a day. So I have enough wood without leaving the house for 4 to 5 days. Pretty easy. Command Post and Mac Whisper are fantastic companions to Final Cut Pro. I have both of those. At 65 years, I am the oldest. No, you're not, I don't think you're the oldest, Daniel. I think some of us, and there's other people that are perhaps a little bit older, but 65 is a good age. I updated a snow alert news short to YouTube yesterday in anticipation of the weather. Oh, you're in Lincoln, Nebraska, though. That's right. Maybe I will get to see Final Cut Pro's future for the next 80 years. That would be phenomenal. That would be phenomenal. Apple's a good company. I mean, I was a big fan of Apple when Steve Jobs was alive. Now I'm a big fan with Tim Cook, but the Final Cut Pro team, we get to talk to them. See, I don't know, are the Final Cut Pro team going to be, I presume they're going to be at this LA event, the Apple Creator Studio event. I presume they're going to be there, but no announcement that they are. Usually it's just Apple and influencers showing off, oh, I got the new MacBook. Oh, I got the new iPhone. Oh, I got the new, whatever the newest device is. Usually those things are kind of hardware related. We'll have to see, but that's on the 27th. Are they going to be able to say, hey, this new Apple Creator Studio is really cool. Here's some of the things it can do on the 27th, the day before we get it on the 28th. We'll have to see. 80 and sunny here. Pray for me. What are we going to pray for? Pray that you get snow? I'm glad you're 80. Yeah, we had snowfall last night. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, Florida is immune from this. They're not getting any of this stuff. They are not getting any of this cold weather. They're down there, you guys, all the sunshine and everything else. Phenomenal. Well, anyway, I'm going to get out of here, and I got some more prep work to do. I want to thank each and every one of you. I want to thank the Final Cut Pro team. And like I said, let me answer a few more questions here first. Any news on the summit? What do you think's going on? They're waiting for this drop of Final Cut Pro 12 to get it over with. Then there'll be comments. Then they'll have something going on with the summit. They got their hands full with 12 right now. I have a feeling there are very few people on the Final Cut Pro team. There's dozens and dozens of people on the Final Cut Pro team. Do you know a little about the guy who was predicted to be Final Cut Pro's successor? I can't remember his name. He's around 50 years old. Yeah, Tim Cook doesn't really affect Final Cut Pro. I mean, it's like he's taking care of everything else. The chain of all the products and iPhones and iPads and Macs and stuff. I don't think it really gets down to the Final Cut Pro level. Darn that tilted axis of Earth, actually. Actually not hitting 60 all next week. Wow. Craig Federini, I don't think he's going to take over. I think somebody else is taking over. Stay safe, absolutely. I am going to take it easy. I'm as prepared as I can possibly be. I got a brand new snowblower. It's really powerful. I got a 50 amp, 9,000 watt tri-fuel in what do they call that? It's something in a generator. I have a wood burning stove with tons and tons of wood. And I'm going to take it easy. I'm not going to go out there like gangbusters to do stuff. I might even do a few drone shots at this. Patriot win the Super Bowl. Hope. Bye, Richard. Absolutely. Thank you for tuning in today. Once again, we want to do this. Thank you to all you for tuning in. Don't forget, subscribe to the YouTube channel over there. Subscribe. Over to the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is this right here. YouTuberChataylor.com. All my stuff. Instagram. We're going to be on Instagram one of these times once they get this beta software worked out properly. I might even be going to NAB this year. We'll have to see. Yes, I'm a filmmaker, video editor. That's what I do for a living. But I do it from the house at this point. I was the post supervisor at the National Archives in Washington, D.C. for 8.5 years. I did a lot of editing and stuff down here. Rec 709 should be the last step so you grade with full dynamic range first. Final Cut doesn't currently let you set it as an automatic final output. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Can Final Cut Pro be improved? Absolutely. Absolutely it can. Please suggest a good LUT for iPhone log footage. You don't like the default one that Apple has for log footage? I shot in log last year, but I shoot in ProRes RAW log 2 now when I shoot sometimes. Sometimes I don't need to, but when I shoot with my iPhone 17 Pro Max, I shoot in Apple ProRes RAW, not ProRes log, ProRes RAW log 2. Sometimes. Not all the time. Sometimes. Maybe about 10% of the time. I love ProRes RAW on the phone. So. Snow, snow, snow. We are going to have nothing but snow starting tonight. I'll be out in the snow. It'll be snowing starting tonight at midnight, all through Sunday. Tomorrow's the big day, but when we get up in the morning, I'll probably have 6 to 8 inches. And I'll be dealing with that all day tomorrow. But I will be coming back and doing a live stream. I'm not going to be doing it all day. I'll be doing it initially about an hour. I'll get some basic paths. One of the things, we have some outdoor community cats that are in our backyard, and I'll make a path for them on the grass to get up to the sunroom. We have a sunroom. It's heated for them. They have heated pads, and we keep it about 40, 45 degrees, 50 degrees in there for them. So they got to get up to that. So between shoveling and using the snowblower, I'll make a path for that. We also feed the birds down the driveway, so I'll make a path to the bird feeders. And then some basic stuff, but I'm going to wait till most of the snow comes down before I do heavy snow plowing. We'll see how it goes. Apple recently announced that they are teaming up with Google for AI stuff. Will that affect Final Cut Pro anytime soon? I don't know how that's going to affect Final Cut Pro. I'm not overly thrilled with Google, but Apple will keep tight grip on what's going on there. So I presume some AI stuff will be worked in. Good morning and watch TV shows, movies, and watch my Seattle Seahawks. I'll be doing some creative stuff. Enjoy your tune, Richard. Seattle wins the Super Bowl. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah, one of the things I'm going to do this afternoon, I'm going to download some movies, TV series to my iPad from Amazon Prime and places. So I have those in case we lose the internet tomorrow. We'll have to see how that goes. All right. 19 thumbs up today. Fantastic. You're the best. You're absolutely the best. We'll be back here for Final Cut Pro stuff next Saturday at 10 o'clock. Tomorrow, we got 20. Tomorrow I'll be here. I'll probably do a live stream around noon or so, but it's going to be snow related. Thank you. 21. It'll just be snow, mostly for around the area in Maryland where I live. Have to see. There are some really cool AI plugins that let you use large language model, Nano, Banana, and Kling within Premiere. Okay, very cool. Very cool. 23. I think the Apple approach to AI is the correct one. We will know next week how it will affect Final Cut Pro. I don't know if it's going to affect Final Cut Pro that much on this initial, but I think going forward. What should I do to avoid health problems in the long run? Well, diet and exercise, I think, would be good things. Not now, it's too cold, but I normally walk 2 miles every morning. So run, jog, lift weights if you want to, some other exercises, and watch your diet. Try to eat good food the best you can. Don't sit in a chair all day like, for editing. You get out and stretch yourself. Stand-up desk is a good idea for a new editor. I have a stand-up desk right here. It's motorized. Yeah, stand-up desk is pretty cool. I'm sitting down now because I don't like standing up for that long. But yeah, stand-up desk is a good idea. Absolutely. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I'm going to get out of here and I got some more prep work to do for tomorrow. And I'll be back tomorrow if you want to watch some of the live stuff. I'll be back on Facebook and X and YouTube, but it's going to be about snow. I'll probably be live during the week once they announce Final Cut Pro 12. I'll probably be back next week. The middle of the week. Maybe the phone will ring next week. Maybe it will. Absolutely. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you very much. Tell your friends. You love the stream. Tell them to come over here and subscribe. We do this every Saturday around 10 o'clock, typically. Been doing it for years. You've missed a lot of stuff. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a great weekend. Maybe I'll finally finish The Walking Dead. There you go. Absolutely. So I'm going to get out of here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Got lots of thumbs up today, as usual. And I'll be back tomorrow with a live snow report for local stuff. But I'm pretty sure I'll be back in the middle of the week. 1 o'clock Eastern in the afternoon. He says his friends watch cartoons. That is so funny. But any of your video editor friends, I meant people that do video editing. But we'll probably be back. We'll see you maybe on the 27th or 28th, because I have a feeling there'll be stuff to talk about. Just listen, I do these streams so you get a chance to talk. Your comments are on screen. The Final Cut Pro team, the Pro Apps team, watches this live stream. So they see your comments, my comments. They watch these, so they see your comments. I do these live streams because I like Final Cut Pro. And also for you to everybody to talk and make comments. Nothing wrong with cartoons at all. I love cartoons. It's just funny that he said most of his friends watch cartoons. You're the best, absolutely the best. Phonica Pro Team, Pro Apps team. Looking forward to Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever day they release it. All right, we'll be back midweek, I'm sure. I'll be back tomorrow with snow reports and stuff. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in.